Meta science. 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 Let me see, come again. Meta science. Say it with the high priest. Let me see, come again. Meta science. I can't hear you. Let me see, come again. Meta science. Baby, I need you to scream. Are you a Nubian queen? Are you feeling supreme? Baby, I need you to scream. Are you a Nubian queen? Are you feeling supreme? Baby, I need you to scream. Are you a Nubian queen? Are you feeling supreme? Are you a Nubian queen? Are you feeling supreme? Are you a Nubian queen? Are you feeling supreme? High priest is in the building. 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 Let's go. Meta science. 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 Now, before we start, we first must give thanks and praises to Atum Ray, Amun Ray, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, El Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Marduk, Melchizedek, Al Qadir, Tahuti, Usa, Uset, Heru, Anu, Enki, Ma'at, Batar, Rastafari, Haile Selassie, Meta Science, to mommy, to daddy, to granny, to granddad, to the ancestors, and to the most high. Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah. Greetings, my spiritual warriors and my Meta Science soldiers. This is the High Priest, Grand Hierophant of Meta Science Ministries. Amun El. You done know Meta Science. Now the High Priest Amun El hopes all you kings and queens and gods and goddesses are okay. The High Priest Amun El is a bit tired. Not that the High Priest Amun El has been going to bed late, but you know, the fasting thing, man. Boy, that thing drain your energy. You see what one is saying? Man has no fuel in the tank. The tank is on the amber light or an empty. You follow that? So the High Priest of Amun El is grateful and gives gratitude to the Most High for the High Priest of Amun El to be able to have the strength and discipline and energy to make it into the studio today. Because the High Priest of Amun El, proper wounded, was sleeping in the car when he came to the building. You follow that? Yeah, at least we got about one more week until the Ramadan is finished, and then it's Eid, and then no more fasting for the high priest Amun El. The high priest Amun El has been fasting too much now. Yeah, it's got to the point now, like the high priest Amun El has proved the point. Okay, high priest Amun El is God in the flesh, and so is the meta science soldiers who participated in the fasting. Your gods and goddesses in the flesh. You follow that because it's not easy just to maintain that discipline and not eat no food and just be chilling. Well, not chilling, but having no breakfast, lunch, just a dinner thing, and then using your energy or your spiritual energy to move about and navigate through this three-dimensional or third dimension. Okay. Now, on Monday, the topic was, is the black man God, i.e., the Most High? And unfortunately, we didn't really get to talk about it because we started talking about other stuff with Lady M. Okay. However, someone told the high priest someone out to start doing the prayers, to minimize the prayers. Now, high priest someone out thought, you know what? Yeah, you see the prayer thing. It's a serious thing, you know. High priest someone else can't minimize prayer. Prayer has to be done. It's covenant. The prayers that we do, how many do we do? Psalms 91, Psalm 71, Lord's Prayer, Surah 1, Surah 2, Surah 112. We do 6 prayers. Can you imagine that? Yeah, and we need to do that because at the end of the day, sorry, some people need the prayer. You follow that. Especially those that are in jail and in a mental health institution, they need that guidance. The prayer is the most important part of the show, of the Mental Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship show. So it's not voluntary, the prayer. The prayer is essential, it's mandatory. So the high priest of Munaf thought, you know what, let's just start it off early and get it out of the way so then we can have more time to talk about stuff or topics today. So the first thing that we're gonna talk about, first of all, is the football last night with Man City and PSG. Now PSG and Man City, they had a good game last night in the extreme weather conditions. If you saw on the pitch, it was snowing. Can you imagine that? It was snowing in May, you know? And then we got some stupid idiots who are saying that global warming is happening. Yeah, get the F out of here, man. Get the F out of here, man. How can global warming happening and we're still wearing coat and hat? If you go on the YouTube live or type in on YouTube, Amun L in the search engine, which is spelled A for Africa, M for magnificent, U for upliftment, and N for Nubian, space L, which is spelled E for El Elyon and L for love. And then you go press search, then you'll see the High Priest Amun L's YouTube channel. Click the red button to subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when the High Priest Amun L is going live or dropping new content. And also you'll see as well the High Priest of 1 Hour's live via omegaFMradio.co.uk. You'll see the High Priest of 1 Hour with his woolly hat. Can you imagine that? High Priest of 1 Hour's wearing woolly hat, you know, in May. And we're not in, it's not the 1st of May, it's not the 2nd of May, it's not the 3rd of May, it's not the 4th of May. It's the 5th of May. Can you imagine that? We're in the 5th of May. And it's not touched, but the weather is not touching double digits. We're struggling to touch double digits on the weather. And we're almost halfway through the year, you know. You follow that? What's going on? Like, it's like they're making sure that they make the weather rubbish so that there'll be all diseases and infections and make us ill and block Atum Ray from giving us the vitamin D in a high dose. You follow that? Like the high priest Amun, I was reminiscing that back in the day, when you're in college or uni or secondary school, usually May is the time where it's time to get ready for exams. But you don't even want to study because it's so hot outside that you're distracted. There's all nice girls on road. You get me, like in hot pants and like just not wearing much clothes. You're like, forget about studying. Let me just take a break and have some fun. But right now, none of that is happening. You get me? There's no girl on world. There's no hot weather, no festivals, none of that. Just some just boring vibes and just cold vibes, which is a bit disappointing because again it's May the 5th and we're still freezing. We still have to wear coat and gloves in the morning and at nighttime. We should be in shorts and t-shirt and string vest. You follow that, and people should be going just be wanting. It should be that weather where some men don't even want to wear t-shirt. They just want to wear what is it? They just want to go topless. Anybody you got a caller, you're going live, man. Greetings.
Yeah. What's going on?
Nothing much, King. How are you?
All right. Couple of things. First of all, congratulations to Man City for reaching the final. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, due to Raheem Sterling, I rooted for them basically. It is a local lad. You see this thing with global warming. One thing that is 100% certain is that the weather patterns around the world in the past few decades have been changing. Now, you mentioned something about, when you was in school, May was very hot. That is true. But you also, I don't know if you noticed as well that traditionally, snowfalls, usually used to start around that sort of October, end of October, November, then December, and then last in about February. But what is very noticeable is that certainly in the last 10 years, that pattern has changed. Where the snow now comes later and later, and then when it does come, it doesn't stay for as long as it used to stay traditionally. So there's definitely something happening with the weather. Now, whether it's an issue of global warming, whether it's been purposely manipulated, that remains to be 100% established. But one thing I would say with the global warming issue is that there is evidence, obviously, that the polar caps, both the North Pole and South Pole, they have been melting due to an increased temperature, on the planet, basically. But it doesn't affect everywhere the same way. So I don't know whether global warming is the right term to use, okay? Because in some cases, the temperatures have increased. In some cases as well, the temperatures have decreased in some locations or countries. Okay? Now, the other thing I was going to also mention to you, I don't know if you've heard about the student, Nigerian student that was in Bristol that went missing on Saturday.
No.
Okay, well, he was a 20-year-old student that went missing on Saturday, and news is just broken that they found his body. And where they found his body was in the Bristol Harbor. So again, very strange. I don't know whether it's a coincidence or something going on here. I just want people to be very careful, especially young men, young people. If you're under the age of, say, like 21 or 22, be very careful. If you're going to be meeting anybody outside, make sure that you tell your relatives or close friends where you're going to be, who you're going to see, etc. Because there's it's strange. I mean, this particular incident, the police are treating as suspicious. But when you look at what happened with Richard, again, in the body of water, his body was found. The other chap that jumped into the tent the other day, Blessing, it's all I don't know. I don't want to say that they're all linked up. It's a weird coincidence that you have young people, Nigerians, that they've been found, their bodies have been found either in or near holy water.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that
All right.
absolutely, King. Thank you for the update and letting people know. Because it's a
Yeah.
bit too much now. Like every week.
Yeah, it's strange. It is very, very, very strange. Again, this guy is an evil boy, by the way, his name. He went out
Okay.
about 7 o'clock in the morning. Um, and he was last in on Saturday. Now, be careful because you are going, if anybody wants to meet you in any kind of location that you mount, well, be careful. All young people, both young men and young women, be very careful. Make sure you inform your family and your friends of where you're going to be, who you're going to see.
No, it's true. It's true, King.
All right, then.
All right, King.
Okay.
Thank you
I'm
so
listening
much.
anyway. All right.
Yeah, peace. One.
Okay.
That was King Ade, OG Ade, giving us the update. Thank you so much for what's really going on in our neighborhood, around everywhere. Now, okay, we're gonna get into the prayer in a minute, but I want you to bear in mind, my kings and queens and gods and goddesses, that okay, today the High Priest Summon L is gonna announce that from next week on Wednesday, but the High Priest Summon L is gonna start doing a conscious rap cipher. What does that mean, High Priest Summon L? It means that the High Priest Summon L is gonna start inviting some conscious rappers, that do rap, like, but on the conscious tip, to start doing some freestyles and like switching it up on omegafmradio.co.uk. Now, if you have anybody, you got your children that do rap, hip hop, and they do conscious rap, especially like a bit like I pre someone else kind of rap, the woke kind of rap, or the conscious lyrics like Public Enemy, KRS-One, Killer Priest, Nas, Common, etc., etc. Then tell them to tune in on Mondays and Wednesdays, and if anything, call in today so that you can book your place for the Conscious Cipher next week, Wednesday. So far, the High Priest someone out believes that he's got two people that are ready to participate in the Conscious Cipher, to spit some conscious bars or conscious lyrics for the kings and queens and gods and goddesses that have tuned into omegafmradio.co.uk. Because at the end of the day, the conscious community, especially the young conscious community, is so divided and segregated. Like omegafmradio.co.uk is the platform for those voices that are unheard to be heard, and also the conscious music or the conscious rap, hip hop, is so underground. It's under the underground. You follow that? What does that mean, High Priest and out? It means you can't find it. Yeah, you have to look hard to find that. You gotta look. It's underneath a stone. That's underneath a stone. Can you imagine that? Or it's so deep underground that it's past the tombs that are in the cemetery. You get me? And that's 6 feet deep. The underground, the conscious rap is under the underground. So the high priest, someone I wanna shine light to that conscious rap. So if you got anybody that wants to participate in the conscious cipher and do a freestyle, first 16, do 16 bars, or um, do their lyrics, let them participate and call 0753 996 8143. Again, 0753 996 8143. Now, lastly, before we get into the prayer, so again, the high priest someone I mentioned that on Monday he was unable to start the freestyle. We got Scratch Professor calling in now. Let's go. Yo, greetings, King.
Greetings, High Priest. Blessed to you, man.
All right.
Yeah, that cyber thing's gonna be real fun, man.
Mm,
I got my brethren Bob Skunk House ready in the wings, and you know I'm there as well. So, yeah, man. And just a quick call anyway. Hail up, yeah? Keep doing your thing.
yes, I.
Yes, I am. I'm gonna carry on listening, yeah?
All right,
Black
King.
Professor there.
Yes, I. Yes, I. Good thanks, King. Bless him. Yeah, that was Scratch Professor. Honorable Scratch Professor. Catch him on Fridays from 2 till 6 on OmegaFMRadio.co.uk. You're done now. Meta Science. So that's it basically. Yeah, so like on Monday, yeah, we didn't complete the topic, but we're gonna complete it. Well, we've got two topics we can talk about. We can either talk about is the black man God, i.e., the Most High, or we talk about why don't the children gravitate or are attracted to spirituality, especially meta science. So the high priest someone I was giving you the option of what you want to talk about today. Because honestly, I don't really care about the children because the children they need to get more life experience. They need to experience more, pain and like near death experiences for them to really gravitate towards spirituality and understand what spirituality is about. You follow that? Because most of them they're still naive and still like conditioned in the system to be materialistic, you know, and they haven't got to the point where they're looking beyond the material gains. They want spiritual gains instead of material gains. They're not there yet. Most any child, any person really that is under 35, they're not there yet. You follow that because they still want to experience life and have fun. High priest, someone else burn all of that out. Those things are just limited. Those things are finite. I.e., those things they're temporary. They don't last forever. You follow that, but some people still need a lot of growing up to do. In terms of the children. So anyway, now we're gonna go into the first prayer, which is um, Psalms 91, Hymn 91. So if you want to participate in the prayer, all you have to do is grab your Bible, turn to Psalms 91 or Hymn 91, and then we do the prayer together. Now the high priest someone else would say, anybody that want to do the prayer for the high priest someone else, call 0753 996 8143. Because again, high priest someone else a bit tired and don't have the strength like that to be doing prayer. But who else is gonna do it? You get me? The high priest someone else ordained to do the prayer. Because no one else wanna do the prayer. No one else wanna heal our community and heal their spirit. They want high priest someone else to heal their spirit. You follow that. So it's just what it is. Which the high priest someone else has no problem of doing it, but it'd be better or nice for someone else to do it, and we got different energy during the prayer. You follow that? But anyway, so Psalms 91. Let's go. He that dwelleth in the secret place of El Elyon, i.e., the Most High, shall abide under the shadow of El Shaddai, i.e., the Almighty. I will say of Atum Re, Amun Re, El Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai. Elohim, he is my refuge and my fortress, my Atunre, Atunre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai. Elohim, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that fleeth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in the darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come near thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, which is my refuge, even El Elyon, i.e., the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come near thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion, and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him, and I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and shew him my salvation. Mental science. And I pray someone else, you felt that prayer in your soul, in your spirit, in your bones, in your heart, coming from your radio speakers. Now we're going to go into the next prayer, which is Psalm 71. Let's go. Meta science. Okay, Psalm 71. Let's go. Meta science. In thee, O Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, do I put my trust. Let me never be put to confusion. Deliver me in thy righteousness and cause me to escape. Incline thine ear unto me and save me. Be thou my strong habitation, whereunto I may continually resort. Thou hast given commandment to save me, for thou art my rock and my fortress. Deliver me, O my Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, out of the hand of the wicked, out of the hand of the unrighteous and cruel man. For thou art my hope. O Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, thou art my trust from my youth. By thee have I been holden up from the womb. Thou art he that took me out my mother's bowels, and praise shall be continually of thee. I am as a wonder unto many, but thou art my strong refuge. Let my mouth be filled with thy praise and with thy honor all the day. Cast me not out in time of old age, forsake me not when my strength faileth. For mine enemies speak against me, and they that lay wait for my soul take counsel together, saying, Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, have forsaken him, persecute and take him, for there is none to deliver him. O Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, be not far from me. O my Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, make haste for my help. Let them be confounded and consumed that are adversaries to my soul. Let them be covered with the reproach and dishonor that seek my hurt. But I will hope continually and will yet praise thee more and more. My mouth shall full of thy righteousness and thy salvation all the day, for I know not the numbers thereof. I'll go in the strength of Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim. I will make mention of thy righteousness, even of thine only. O Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim. Thou hast taught me from my youth, and hitherto I have declared thy wondrous works. Now also when I'm old and grey-headed, O Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, forsake me not, until I have showed thy strength unto this generation, and thy power to everyone that is to come, thy righteousness also. O Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, is very high, who has done great things. O Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, who is like unto thee. Thou which hast shown me great and sore trouble shall quicken me again and shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. Thou shalt increase my greatness and comfort me on every side. I will also praise thee with the psaltery, even thy truth. O my Atumre, Atumre, Amunre, Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Elohim, unto thee will I sing with the harp O thou Holy One of Israel or Yisrael, Science. My lips shall greatly rejoice when I sing unto thee, and my soul which thou hast redeemed. And my tongue also shall talk of thy righteousness and all the day long, for they are confounded, for they are brought unto shame that seek my hurt. Science. The high priest Amun hopes you felt that prayer in your soul, in your heart, in your spirit, in your bones coming from your radio speakers. Again, High Priest Amun don't play. High Priest Amun is warming up, feeling a bit better now from doing the prayer. The energy or the Holy Spirit is now being generated within oneself and within others as well from doing the prayer. So the High Priest Amun is feeling the energy from the Most High, and the High Priest Amun hopes that you're feeling the energy from the Most High. You follow that, the spark coming from the Most High to ignite your spirit. Metal science. So now the next prayer we're going to do is the Lord's Prayer, which is Matthew 6, verse 9 to 13. We're going to start off in the Greek, and then we're going to translate it into the English. So let's go. Metal science. Matthew 6, verse 9 to 13.
Pater hemon ha en tois uranois, hagias theto ta onomasu, el theto he basileasu, gene theto ta telemasu os en urano kai epi testes. Ton arton hemon, ton epiusion, dos emin semen, kai athes emin ta ofelemata hemon. Os kai hines apiamen tois ofeletes hemon. Kai me esenenques hemas is perasmon, ala rusa hemas apo tu kondu. Amen.
All right. Okay. Welcome back to the Meta Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship Show via Omega FM Radio.co.uk, aka 104.1 FM. You're done, no Meta Science. Now, we just did the prayer in Greek, the Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6, verse 9 to 13. Now we're going to translate it into the English, and it goes like this. Matthew 6, okay? And after this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Amun Asheo. Metal science. Now, the high priest, I hope you felt that prayer in your soul, in your bones, in your spirit, in your heart, coming from your radio speakers. Remember, apply that prayer to your life. Forgive your debtors as we seek forgiveness from the Most High, and also live above, so below, i.e., make sure that heaven is on planet Earth. Meta science. Now, like what we said, we got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left until the news. We're going to go into the next prayers, the next set of prayers after the news, and then we're going to talk about why, if the black man is God, i.e. the Most High, or if we're going to move on to spiritual stuff and why the children are not gravitating towards being woke or waking up and doing the right things, because I priest someone else tried to communicate with the children, and the children are not interested in spirituality. The children are not interested in meta science. The children, what they're interested in is drugs, killing, girls, and money. You follow that? And like, to be honest, like many are called, few are chosen. And also, this is esoteric knowledge. Meta science is esoteric knowledge. It's not meant for everybody. It's meant for those whose heart is open and is active and their chakras activated and seek the truth. You follow that. Anyway, catch you after the news. You're done. No meta science.
Amiga Radio, 104.1 FM. News and views around your community.
This is the AmigaRadio.co.uk news at 1.
India's foreign minister has been forced to pull out of attending the G7 meeting in person after 2 of the country's delegates tested positive for coronavirus. It's raised concerns about how COVID-secure the event is. There's due to be a larger summit in Cornwall later this year. Here's Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer.
If only to make sure that it's not repeated. It is a reminder about how vigilant we need to be about our borders. We've been challenging the government on this for some months, but let's get to the bottom of how this happened. We cannot have a repeat.
India is not a G7 member, but was invited to attend the meeting as a guest. We're being told a multi-million-pound investment in testing capacity will help the UK stay one step ahead of new coronavirus variants. Labs are being expanded at Porton Down so scientists can analyse more blood samples. Professor Adam Finn is from the Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation and says there's certainly viral evolution happening.
As more and more of the world's population become immune to the virus through infection or through immunisation, the speed of that is likely to go up. So it's certainly a problem now, and it's likely to be an increasing problem going forward.
The last few Debenhams stores are going to be shut by next Saturday. The brand's been bought by fashion retailer Boohoo, who will continue to run it online. Latest figures show coronavirus was linked to 1 in 38 deaths in England and Wales towards the end of last month. The ONS says the total number of deaths in the week to the 23rd of April was below the 5-year average.
It will open their eyes a bit more, and they wouldn't have to ask you so many questions. They must watch it. Afrikaans in Asia. It tells you the truth, nothing else. Yeah? And when you finish, anyway, I'll talk to you another time about that. Anyway, my darling, I'll talk to you soon, yeah?
Alright, babes, no problem.
Okay, that's bye.
Bye, love you, bye. Ah.
See the people of the land into your blood, celebrating there is a gathering celebrating the finding of the true God. Year to year, honoring the Savior in Moscow Square. There is a gathering celebrating the finding of the true God. Year to year, in honor of the Savior, the people of the land, they find joy in celebrating the birth of the fine Jesus Christ cross, yeah. You got to realize Ethiopia fulfilled your plan. It is the promised land. People of the world, find their joy within. Like the children of Ethiopia. Oh yeah. Where they are Christ in their country's name. If you take this example that they've shown the ways, we must understand there is a gathering celebrating the finding of the true God. Yes, we have in honor of the Savior. We must understand there is a gathering celebrating the finding of the true God. Yes, we have honoring the Savior.
The story of Moscow is all about this. A vision gives me to a queen of the name Elena, how to find the cross of the Savior. In the vision, an angel told her at that time, there's a point about finding the cross of the Savior, Jesus Christ. So the foundation of this mystical vision was the light of three fire, and where the smoke led, there was no follow. For it was to be their guide to the true cross of Jesus Christ. And when they lived the earth, the cross was there, it was there.
We must
The cross was where
there is a gathering celebrating the finding of the true God.
all the true
Yes,
God.
yeah, in honor of the Savior, we must spread. There is a gathering celebrating the finding of the true God.
All the true God.
Yes, yeah, in honor of the Savior. Jesus, we must spread our schools gathering, celebrating the coming of the true God. Yes, yeah, honoring the Savior. We must spread our schools gathering, celebrating the coming of the true God. Yes, yeah, honoring the Savior. Honoring the Savior, honoring the Savior, honoring the Savior,
Al-Arak Sayyid Kalbi Anna Tabanwa Anna Ja'an Baby. Hey, from the Gulutuman. Nothing much, man. I'm just tired still. What are you telling me? I see you, man, are doing your thing with your bar.
What's the difference?
Yeah, man, wanna do them kind of things still. You get me?
Sports gives you real-time
But,
performance data.
I mean, UK, you know, it's the spot, you know, because the money is stronger. In Nigeria, man could do it in that, but it's the money strong out there, really. But yeah, anyway, looking like holidays are coming back. By next week, we'll know what's going on. And then I can come back to Nigeria. Hey, keep cracking. The meta science. I don't know.
Some put their trust in horses and chariots. So ridiculous. Things are fine, simply and gold. Just in the Lord, Lord, Lord. Just in the Lord, Lord, Lord. Don't you know the world around you, even from that far? But the earth is your Lord and the fullness thereof, for I and I. Just in the Lord, Lord, Lord. Just in the Lord, Lord, Lord. Just in the Lord. Who come knocking, he shall open. Doors so wide. Who come seeking, he shall find. Turn light. Who come asking, it shall be given. Just in the Lord, Lord, Lord. Just in the Lord, Lord. Just in the Lord, lasting legacy of peace.
Music you want, the information you need.
So from evil to
Neither believe thou envious. Fret not thyself of evil doers. Trust in the Lord, Lord. Lord. Trust in the Lord, Lord. Some put their trust in horses and chariots. So ridiculous. Things are fine, simply and gold. But profit a man save his own life and lose his own soul. Trust in the Lord, Lord, Lord. Trust in the Lord, Lord, Lord. Don't you know the world around you, it will crumble and fall. But the earth is your Lord and the fullness thereof, for I and I.
trust in the Lord, 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 Lord.
Just in the Lord, Who come asking shall be given. Trust in the Lord, trust in the Lord, trust in the Lord.
Trust in Jah, 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 Jah. We trust in Jah, 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 Jah. All right. All right. And welcome back to the Meta Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship Show via Omega FM Radio.co.uk. This is the High Priest, Grand High from the Meta Science Ministries. Amun L. You're done now. Meta Science. Now you just heard some music from Third World. Fret not thyself. Yeah, we can't fret thyself. You get me? Because we have to know that the Most High is protecting us and that we have the power to attract anything into our reality, whether it be agreeable or disagreeable. Meta Science. So now we're going to move on to our prayers. We're going to go to Surah 1, Al-Fatiha, for our Muslim brothers and sisters. And also those that are doing the Ramadan or the fasting, yeah, make sure you keep doing it. Yeah, we've got one more week left, not too long to go. And you'll receive the blessings, or you'll be more at the end of it when it comes to Eid. You're done, no? Meta Science. So let's go. Okay. Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amen. All right, so that was Surah Al-Fatiha, i.e. the opener. I was in the Arabic, so we're going to translate it into the English, and it goes like this. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. All praise is for Allah, Lord of all worlds, the most compassionate, most merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us along the straight path, the path of those you have blessed, not those you are displeased with, or those you are astray. All right, Meta Science. Now, the High Priest of Amun, our host, you felt that prayer in your soul, in your heart, in your spirit, in your own, coming from your radio speakers. Now we're going to move on to the next prayer, which is Surah 112, i.e. Al-Ikhlas, or the sincerity. Again, we're going to start off in the Arabic, and we're going to translate it in the English. Let's go, Meta Science. Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Allah as-samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun kufuwan ahad. Okay. So now we're going to translate it into the English, and it goes like this. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and most merciful, say, O Prophet, He is Allah, one and indivisible. Allah, the sustainer needed by all. He has never had offspring, nor he was born, and there is none comparable to him. Metascience. Now, the high priest Amun hopes that you felt that prayer in your soul, in your bones, in your spirit, in your heart, coming from your radio speakers. That's it for our Muslim prayers. Now we're just gonna do the final prayer, which is the meta science prayer. But before we do the meta science prayer, we have to go back to the Bible in the New Testament and do the covenant what Granny told us to do, which is Matthew 5, verse 3 to 10. And apply this in our lives. Keep remembering this because some of us keep forgetting, and then as a result, we end up in a low vibration and can't come out of the low vibration. But it goes like this. It says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they that which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake." Metascience. Make sure you apply that. Matthew 5, verse 3 to 10. Read that in your own time. Apply those sayings to your life. Guarantee you're going to see your life change and you're going to be in a higher dimension. Especially Matthew 5, verse to 5, which says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Now, it's that time. It's meta science prayer. Are you ready for meta science prayer? Are you ready for the meta science prayer? Because I pray someone now is ready for the meta science prayer. You're done. No. Meta science. So let's go. We give thanks and praises to Amun Ray, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, El Elyon, El Shaddai, Yahweh, Adonai, Marduk, Melchizedek, Al-Kadir, Tahuti, Utsa, Uset, Heru, Anu, Enki, Ma'at, Ptah, Rastafari, Haile Selassie, Meta Science, to mommy, to daddy, to granny, to granddad, to the ancestors, and to the most high. Bismillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah. We give thanks and praises to the Most High for giving us the strength, endurance, discipline, energy, and focus to be able to continue with our fast today. Also, we give thanks and praises to the Most High for protecting us and guiding us away from the evil and wickedness that exist in the planet and in the cosmos. Also, we give thanks and praises to the Most High for showing us mercy in our daily lives. Also, we give thanks and praises to the Most High for giving us the mercy and forgiveness as well for our sins. Also, we give thanks and praises to the Most High for being able to give us grace in our daily lives. And lastly, we give thanks and praises to the Most High for protecting us and guiding us, and also being our shield as we walk the path of righteousness, so that we can enter the kingdom of heaven, which is Zion. Amen. Amun Asheo. Metal science. Now, the high priest Amun hopes you felt that prayer in your soul, in your heart, in your bones, in your spirit, coming from your radio speakers. Now we're on to the main event of the Meta Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship Show via omegafmradio.co.uk. And we got Ade on the line from Hendon. How are you doing?
Yes, sir. You good?
Yes, King. I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. You did talking about I just wanted to Africa.
Pardon? You're saying about Africa. What happened in Africa?
I'm saying the young African decided to do it.
Oh, Bristol. The Bristol one or the Thames one?
Sorry?
Which one? Because the other Ade said something today.
The one that I think the driving together.
Well, London Bridge or Tower Bridge one?
Well, I think it's I go with it. Did you see that there was with the I think it was package. He was on the news explaining what happened. And that's what hard the next time try that for the next time. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Well, but I would say because next time you're not going to be lost.
Next time, what will happen, King?
Sorry?
You said something, and I couldn't hear you a bit, not clearly.
No, he spoke to his father in Spain, okay?
He spoke to his father, yeah?
Yeah, in Spain, he's a Spanish now, okay? Most of the news, right, about what we call it for what happened. And he spoke to his father, who was into something, trust. He said his father said, and yeah, that he went to somewhere. Okay? And the father said, next time you want to think, you're going to get the situation which will face, which is trouble, anything needs to be done. Discourage their children into the water. We can't let them be able to swim. Don't you come with that?
Don't I what?
Don't you you want to fight with the Spanish man, his father said to him, what you do is pain because of the things you were doing.
Hold on. Say it more. Say it one more time because I really can't hear you clearly, and I want to participate. I don't want to just it to be one-sided conversation.
All right, we'll listen to you. I think there's something of stage life because so the echo. I leave you for that. You can put it in. You have no mission.
All right, King. No worries. Thank you for your call. Peace. All right, that was Ade from Hendon. Thank you for your call. Yeah, I hope the audience that have tuned into the Meta Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship radio show could hear what you were saying, and there weren't no deaf ears. But anyway, it's that time. It's the main event of the Meta Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship show. You're done, no? Meta Science. Now, what are we gonna talk about? You know what? We're gonna give it a break. The high priest, someone else told you already, there's two subjects we can talk about. We can either continue where we left off, and if the black man is God, i.e. the Most High, or we can move on to our next topic and talk about what is it? Why the children are not gravitating to spirituality, especially meta science. Okay, now Scratch Professor said to tell Ade to use his other phone from Scratch. Yeah, you get me? Like, we just want to hear you, King, because sometimes it's not clear, and the audience can't hear you as well on the radio. You follow that, so what I mean. It's not like you ain't got anything to say. You always got something good to say and valuable to say. You follow that. But yeah, so I appreciate someone else is putting it out there. Two topics we can either talk about. Is the black man God, i.e. the Most High, or we talk about why the children are not interested in spirituality, especially meta science. So we're gonna come back in a short moment. We're gonna play some tunes. Okay, probably play two tunes, one from YouTube and one from the High Priest someone else catalog. Okay, but yeah, we're gonna do that and then we'll come back. Okay, so this is the tune we're gonna play. Yeah, Meta Science.
Feel like I'm done so young, just I like, just I waiting to pull trigger. I'm so eager with my itchy finger.
I just can't wait, I just can't wait, I can't wait to taste Babylon, the bandit, dashing in the bottomless pit, yeah. Babylon, dashing way, they gotta be now.
And I'm a thing of scavengers out there come to see. To rid the earth of its beauty, the truth must be in you. Liberation passer, the chase must now begin. Fire to all down pressure, that is the wages of sin. Babylon, the bandit, dashing in a bottomless pit, yeah. Babylon, dashing working at the pit now. Babylon, the bandit, dashing in a bottomless pit, yeah. Babylon, dashing working at the pit now. From a den of scavengers, up there comes the steam to rid the earth of its beauty. You must be operation passer. The chase must now begin. Fire to all down pressure. Death is the wages of sin. Babylon, the bandit, dashing in a bottomless pit. Yeah. Babylon, dashing working at the pit now. Babylon, why Babylon, dashing in a bottomless pit. Yeah. Dashing working now. Dashing working the bottomless pit now. There was a smoother than butter. War was in their hearts. They worked like a softest soil. They make a life sound watch it, watch it, watch it. Dashing in a bottomless pit, yeah. Babylon, dashing working at the pit now. Babylon, dashing in a bottomless pit, yeah. Way down low, dashing working at the pit now. Come on, help me, my step. Why, Babylon? Time has come upon you now. Whip it now, now, Babylon. Rasta prophesy true now. Yeah, yeah, Babylon.
Alright, it's High Priest on this beat. Run down Babylon, burn it down, burn it down. You know. Alright, let's go in. Check it. Living life in exalted dimension, and shapes trying to hold back like the tension. Police start shoot. without questions. Oneness with God, my spirit is ascended. As an indigo child, suppress the emotions from acting wild. Under duress, when put to trial. So divine, copy my style. And if I die tonight, bury me a G. That's the only remedy to set my soul free. Mental slavery prohibits the fantasy. Unconscious, it's easy to read. I incarnated physically to teach. The good shepherd came for the sheep. If I'm broke, then I forfeit my seed. The high priest delivering lyrics that are deep. As an indigo child, jump the soul out blind. My children, the time is now. As an indigo child, jump the soul out blind. My children, the time is now. Alright, verse 2, let's go. Night codes, transmitted from the stars, preserving gorilla glue in pickle jars. Astral projecting like an avatar. I trust the friends who let me down. Life is superficial in lovely town. Sometimes my brain just wants to break down. With your curves when losing focus, yeah. Become reborn like a lotus. While I dematerialize and transform into ether, babe, measure and seizure. Yeah, healing music for the receiver. Pause, ask yourself, are you a believer that life will get a little better with patience? As you build to become one nation, no Satan's power is your temptation. Yeah, so never lose concentration of your own creation.
Hi, Priest Amun. How you doing?
The time is now.
Alright, yeah, alright, what's up? Please.
The time is now.
Alright. Just one is in, but we have to reload that tune again. You're done, you know. Mental science. This one goes out to you, just one.
Alright, it's high priest on this beat. Run down Babylon, run it down. You know. Alright, let's go in. Check it. Living life in the exalted dimension. Jesus on my own back, like detention. Police start shooting without questions. Oneness with God, my spirit is ascended. As an indigo child, suppress the emotions from acting wild. Under duress, when put to trial. So divine, copy my style. And if I die tonight, bury me a G. That's the only remedy to set my soul free. Mental slavery prohibits the further to see. Once conscious, the darkness is easy to reach. I incarnated physically to teach. The good shepherd came for the sheep. If I'm broke, then I forfeit my seed. The high priest delivering lyrics that are deep. As an indigo child, jump the soul out blind. Children, the time is now. As an indigo child, jump the soul out blind. Children, the time is now. Alright, verse 2, let's go.
Light codes, transmitted from the stars, preserving gorilla droop ink in the jars. Astral projecting like an avatar. I trusted friends who let me down. Life is superficial in London town. Sometimes my brain just wants to break down.
With your curves, but losing focus. Yeah, become reborn like a lotus. While I dematerialize and transform into ether, babe, measure and seizure. Yeah, healing music for the receiver. Pause, ask yourself, are you a believer that life will get a little better with patience? As you build to become one nation, no Satan's power is your temptation. Yeah, so never lose concentration of your own creation. Jump the soul out blind. My children, the time is now. As an indigo child, jump the soul out blind. My children, the time is now. As an indigo child, jump the soul out blind. My children, the time is now. My children, the time is now. Stand up. It's reality and conquer your own destiny. The most high, L and U, Amun, Allah is pushing and guiding us to our destiny. Always have faith and unconditional love that seeks salvation within thyself. Each multiplying love is integrated in everything that exists. All is in all, nothing can be separate from the all. Amun.
All right, and welcome back to the Meta Science Ministries Reason and Fellowship Show via Omega FM Radio.co.uk, aka 104.1 FM. You're done, no Meta Science. Also, you can see the High Priest Amun L live in 4K vision virtually in the Omega FM Radio.co.uk headquarters. All you have to do is go onto YouTube, type in the YouTube search engine Amun L, which is spelled Amun as in A for Africa, M for magnificent, U for upliftment, and N for Nubian, space L, which is spelled E for El Elyon and L for love. Then you click search, you'll see in the search results the High Priest Amun L's YouTube channel. You'll see the High Priest Amun L with his khaki suit pointing at you. Click the red button that says subscribe and click the bell icon so you can be notified when High Priest Amun L is dropping new content or going live. Also, tune into the High Priest Amun L's live stream on YouTube. It will say the High Priest Amun L is live here on Omega FM Radio.co.uk, the 5th of the 5th, 2021, or the 5th of May, 2021. Okay, now the tune that you just heard was Indigo Child from the High Priest Amun L. The High Priest Amun L made the announcement earlier on today that next week, Wednesday, we're going to start doing conscious cypher, i.e. we're going to have conscious rappers rapping in the studio, dropping their hot as 16 so that we can hear different sounds of the youths in UK and what they have to offer on Omega FM Radio.co.uk, and also to start building the conscious rap community. You follow that, because there's all different types of rap, like the drill, the alternative rap, etc., but there's no conscious rap that is really out there. The conscious rap, you gotta go under the underground to find it. You follow that. What does that mean, High Priest Amun L? You gotta be going more than 6 feet deep to find the conscious rap. Yeah, it's not the proximity of it is not there. I.e., it's not easy to find, and the High Priest Amun L is gonna make it easier to find and give the conscious rappers an opportunity to be able to shine and get their spotlight on Omega FM Radio.co.uk. So if you know anybody that would be interested in being in the conscious cipher next week, Wednesday, call the High Priest Amun L now on 0753 996 8143, or leave a comment in the YouTube live stream of so that the High Priest Amun L can reason with you after the show and book you in for next week. Currently, we got about 2 or 3 people interested in the conscious cipher next week, so that's good news, including the High Priest Amun L. And we're gonna get it cracking and start doing it regularly for the children, so they have some opportunity to be able to express themselves and show meta science. So now, okay. So no one called in and said what topic they want to talk about. Now, High Priest Amun believes that we should just go back to the first topic, which was, is the black man God, i.e. the Most High? Because we didn't get to really touch about it last week or last show, Monday. Now, the reason why we're talking about this is the black man God, i.e. the Most High, is because go back to ancient Kemet or ancient Egypt or or Musa or Misarine in the Hebrew and the Arabia. Meta science. Yeah. So Musa is the Arabic for Egypt, and Misarine is the Hebrew for Egypt. You follow that? Yeah. Okay. The Pharaoh in those days, in ancient days, he was God in flesh, and he was the Most High. Can you imagine that? Black man was Most High back in the day. Yeah, in the day of the pharaohs, he was the Most High, and you worshipped him. The people worshipped him. They built stones in his image or statues in his image. He built pyramid for his resting place, for his funeral or his burial, so that he can connect with the stars and the heavens. Also, you had people that would worship the Pharaoh because the Pharaoh was the provider. You follow that? The Pharaoh was the provider in terms of for us to live. The Pharaoh was the head of the table or the kingdom. The Pharaoh will create his kingdom for his people so they can live happy and in harmony and be taken care of. You have to understand that the Pharaoh was the good shepherd. Okay? What does that mean, the good shepherd? Like Yeshua Yamashiach, of course. What do they say Yeshua Yamashiach is? Or Jesus Christ? He's God in flesh, okay? God had to transform himself into a human being and come on the planet and show us the way in terms of Christianity, okay? This is where you get the Christianity from Pharaoh, because Pharaoh was the God in flesh. It was not a joke. Ask the Greeks back in the day, they'll tell you Pharaoh was God in flesh. Okay? Now, what are we trying to talk about? Hello, Denisha guy. How are you doing? You want to jump on? Want to jump into the reasoning? You can jump into the reasoning in the YouTube comments, or you can call 0753-996-8143. Let's just put that there. +44 753 996 8143. All right, cool. Got that. Yeah. So, Pharaoh was God in flesh. Now, the reason why we're saying this, because we have to understand. You see, all the gods in Egypt, they were real people. Yeah, for those who don't understand or don't know or didn't recognize, the gods in Egypt, they were real people. Or in Musa, or in Musarine, or in Kemet, they were real people. So when the high priest Amun was saying Musa, Uset, Heru, Ma'at, Ptah, and someone's calling, let's go. Greetings.
Yeah, very quick question about the topic. Do you believe that the Most High is infinite?
Yeah, we're getting there. I mean, you're saying it's a question. This is a question for me, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the Most High is obviously infinite. Yeah, there's boundless and there's no limit. Okay.
Okay. So the Most High, as far as you're concerned, God is infinite, and there's no bounds, there's no limits, and it's forever.
Yes.
Okay. So if the Pharaoh was God, how and why did he die?
If he was God, why did he die?
Yeah, how? No, the answer is that if it's God, if it's the Most High, and there's more than one Pharaoh, as you know.
Yes.
How is it possible for an infinite being to die?
Well, again, it's the concept of dying. Like, in terms of how we look at it now, we look at it as we're not, here. physically. Yeah, but we know that the spirit and the soul doesn't die, that it just transcends, i.e., no energy can be created or destroyed, only transformed. So that, okay, the tangible part of us, yeah, will die, will stay on the ground or stay on planet Earth and go back to dust. But that the essence, i.e., our heart, our spirit, and our soul can't die, because that's the true essence, i.e., that is the Most High. You know that.
Okay, so that spirit and soul, do you believe that it can come back to the earth in a different lifetime, in a different person?
Well,
or it forever stay as that form?
Well, this is the thing now. This is now when we go back to the Kemet and the pharaohs, because remember the idol worship and the statues and all these kind of stuff.
Okay.
They will.
All right, I'm listening.
All right. Peace. One. Okay, that was Ade again talking about what's going on, about what High Priest and someone else saying. Now let's go back to what we're saying in terms of Black man is God and the Most High, and about the spirit. Okay, because we're talking about being infinite, yeah, like what Ade said, that the Most High is infinite and has no limit. Whereas we could say that man has limit, but that's not entirely true, because look what we did back in the day. We built pyramid by hand, and we did extraordinary things to this day that are still being applied. Like our knowledge and our wisdom is still being used. Like what we're saying with the trigonometry, yeah, which is a branch of mathematics that deals with engineering and deals with geometry, or is a subject that is geometry. Follow that, but it's got many applications. Trigonometry, which is the study of triangles or the measurement of triangles, i.e., different magnitude and angles, etc. But what we're saying is, in terms of the spirit and the soul, like, can it transform and come back to planet Earth? Or according back to ancient Kemet, they will worship idol. They will have the sun. Okay, now let's start off with the sun. All right. So you got Amun Re, yeah, or Amun Ra and Atum Ra, and all these people, yeah, these gods, yeah, these gods came on the like they lived on the planet. It wasn't a thing that they were fairy tale and mythology. These people were real. Greetings.
Yeah, sorry. Another question I forgot to ask you. How many Most High do you think there can be?
How many Most High do you think there can be?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is
the term Most High signifies something or someone that is higher above everything else, similar in nature to it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
Let's maybe do it in a different way. Okay. The Pharaoh was like the vessel for the Most High. Okay. You see now how we're switching it up. The Pharaoh was the vessel for the Most High, i.e., the spirit of the Most High will be inside Pharaoh. Okay, and he's like an instrument for the Most High, for the physical world.
Oh, all right. So, in other words, there is a school of thought that believe that the Pope is God's emissary here on earth. So, are you saying that the role of the Pharaoh was similar in those days to what some people believe that the Pope is the emissary of God here on earth?
Well, I believe so, because they took the our traditions from us. So
yeah. No, but it is. If you want to say who is the most powerful figure out there, as far as nations bowing to and stuff like that, And it's on the basis of that belief that the post of the Pope, not just one person, the post of the Pope is meant to signify that as an emissary of the Most High here on earth. Okay? So now it is a widely held belief in certain quarters, and in the days of the Pharaoh, it also believes that the subjects that were living in Egypt that were carried at that time, they also believe that the Pharaoh were emissary of the Most High.
Well, hold on. Let's even go closer to home. They say that the Queen is the emissary of the Most High, right?
Oh no. The
Right.
the Pope is higher in terms of political international relations. Okay, the Pope will not bow to the Queen, but the Queen can bow to the Pope.
Oh man, why you say that? But back in the day, wasn't the King and the Queen powerful? Like,
Now, don't forget the reason as to why the Anglican Church even started was because the monarchy at that time didn't want to be subjugated to the Catholic Church of Pope. That's why the Anglican Church started. How it started. So the Pope is the only figure in this world that no matter what your position is, as far as the head of state or monarchy or whatever, that they have to bow to. Okay? Again, it goes back to this whole thing where they believe that that post is the emissary of the Most High here on earth. It's a very deep subject. I spent years researching it. If you're interested in it, I would say to you, research it as well. Whoever's interested in it, it's a very deep subject.
Oh, of course. I'm even typing it in right now. Is the Pope the emissary of God?
Yeah, or representative, yeah, of the Most High. Now, this term God, it is the way it is loosely. I think it's used very loosely because in people's minds, by virtue of the way that they've been brought up or taught as children, most people they say, who or what is God. They always point to the sky. That's the first thing, and then they have this image in their mind of some bearded dude sitting on a cloud because it's something that has been projected to them from the time they're young.
Okay, well, just before we get into that, I've typed it in and they say it's the Vicar of Christ, okay,
Yeah.
which is in the Latin, because remember, we always have to go back to the root, is Vicarius Christi. And it says it's a term used in different ways with different theological connotations, but what it represents is the earthly representative of Christ.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the Vicarius Christi. Okay, so
and don't forget, according to biblical tradition, Christ is the authorized representative of the Most High in the spiritual world that was brought here to earth to redeem mankind. Okay?
Yes.
It's a very deep subject.
Well, we couldn't get into it last time on Monday, but we can get into it now. You get me? Because it's gonna go the next year.
I think I'm listening anyway. After when I've got questions, I think that little bit we've clarified at least. Okay. But obviously, if you finish with your presentation and stuff, if I've got any other comments or questions, I will phone in.
No worries, King. That's all good.
Right.
Peace,
Okay.
one, love. That was Ade, OG Ade, again, giving us some more information on what's going on. So, according to the Pope, the Pope is the Vicarius Christi, i.e., the representation of the Christos, i.e., the Christ or Jesus. Yeah, right now, Papa Francis is the actual representation, and you can see that it's some what you can say plagiarism or copycat thing. Yeah, the same way that Pharaoh back in the day was the representation of God, or the Most High. Now they're saying that the Pope is the representation of the Most High, or the Christian God, or Christ, because Christ basically is God in the flesh. You follow that? Now, anyway, it's news time. So we're coming back after the news and we're gonna go more deep into is Black Man God, i.e. the Most High. Stay tuned. Meta Science.
Media Radio 104.1 FM. News and views around your community.
This is the AmigaRadio.co.uk news at 2.
There are concerns about how COVID secure the G7 events in London are after 2 delegates from India tested positive for COVID-19. Home Secretary Priti Patel met India's Foreign Minister yesterday, although he isn't among those with confirmed cases. Boris Johnson says it's important for government to carry on.
We have a very important relationship with India, with our G7 partners. As I understand it, what's happened is that the individuals concerned are they're all isolating now, and I will be seeing the Indian Foreign Minister later on this afternoon.
Ministers say investment in new labs to test coronavirus vaccines against new variants will help future-proof the country. £29.3 million will help build the sites at Porton Down. Police in Pakistan say they're looking for 2 men after the killing of a British woman. 25-year-old Mayra Zulfikar from West London was reportedly targeted after she refused to get married. British supermarkets are threatening to stop sourcing products from Brazil if it brings in new laws which threaten the Amazon rainforest. Firms including Sainsbury's, Lidl, M&S and Waitrose say the changes will put the rainforest at greater threat than ever before. Paul Moroso from Greenpeace says they've been campaigning on this issue for some time.
The industrial meat sold by the UK's major supermarkets is driving deforestation because of its reliance on vast tonnages of soya, much of it grown on deforested land. We have to reduce the need for continuous agricultural expansion.
In sport, the Premier League has confirmed the final 2 rounds of fixtures this season will take place in front of a limited number of home fans only. Games have been rescheduled to allow each club to host 1 match with supporters before the end of the campaign. And Jessie Nelson has been talking about her decision to leave Little Mix, revealing she could no longer cope with being compared to her bandmates. The singer also says she reached breaking point after returning from lockdown to shoot a music video. That's the latest.
Gold. It's a symbol, an investment. But in ancient Egypt, it was revered, the so-called flesh of the gods.
For them, gold was a part of immortality. That's why the king is put inside a coffin of gold.
Professor of Egyptology Tarek Taufik gave us a tour through Cairo's Egyptian Museum, with treasures dating back 5 millennia. But the star attraction here is a 19-year-old golden boy, King Tutankhamun.
I met him in the summer of 1976 when I was 7 years old.
And you still remember him?
Yeah, it's great to see him.
When Tut toured America for the 1976 bicentennial, 8 million fans lined up to see him.
What is it about this mask that captivates people so much?
I think when you look at the eyes, the corner of the eyes, you see the reddish part. It gives it something real.
Tut's 3,300-year-old tomb was discovered by Sir Howard Carter in 1922.
When Howard Carter wanted to remove the mask, he was so harsh that he removed the head of the poor king.
But with craftsmanship so fine, we know what the young king looked like.
He and his father were the only ones in ancient Egypt who wore earrings. No other king was shown ever wearing earrings.
And they're the big, like some hipster earrings.
They were huge.
Of course, the sheer amount of ancient bling found inside the tomb is jaw-dropping. Beds, a throne, a chariot, all covered in gold.
The king was actually buried in this sarcophagus made of 110 kilograms of pure gold.
That's 242 pounds, melted down worth $6 million, as is priceless. In today's Egypt, gold is still exalted. For centuries, Egyptians have been coming to the Hana Halili market to buy their gold. But with the post-revolution Egyptian economy badly tarnished, markets like these are quiet.
Not much people come down here to buy gold now.
So business is not great right now.
Not even nice.
Yeah.
Ahmed Saleh is one of the many merchants in Cairo's gold bazaar who is hurting. Still, down hidden narrow lanes, we found craftsmen toiling away. Salam alaikum. No one is bringing me gold to work with, he says, so now I'm doing copper. Shop owner Zainab Khalifa says gold sends an unmistakable message.
If I have a gold, I am in a better state. I am rich. I am there. I am strong.
And now, using ancient maps from the days of the pharaohs, the first modern Egyptian gold mine is open. Last year, 260,000 ounces, worth about $400 million, were excavated. Though
Hello, my name is Asar Hotep. I'm with Mocha Urban Hang Suites and the Madu Mandela Institute for the Advancement of Science and Culture. And today we're going to be talking about, or actually more so answering a question of, is the Black man God? This is a question that a lot of individuals, primarily in the 5% nation or in the Nation of Islam, seek to answer and have much literature and discussions on YouTube and things of this nature answering that question. And so, expectingly, the next question is the Black woman God? And so there's been a lot of debate on that. And in that discussion, there is rarely, if ever, a really truly Pan-African entry, or paradigm interjected into the actual discussion. And so that's what we're going to do here. And I'm going to use the tools of comparative linguistics and the study of the ancient Nile Valley civilization known as Egypt to bring a different perspective to this question and to challenge the notion that the Black man is God. Now, I'm going to say off the bat that, of course, the title of this discussion is, to cause one to think. And what I want to address is the actual name God and where it comes from and how it was used in Africa itself, and to see if it applies to the line of questioning that we find in the Nation of Islam or in the 5% nation. And so what I will be discussing, a lot of the details will actually be coming from my most recent book. It's called Abuja, Rescued Reinterpretation and the Restoration of Major Ancient Egyptian Themes. You can visit my website at www.assault. And when you start really reading the literature, they're always unsure of if that is really it, which is why there's three. But I will make sure that it's put on the screen as we go along as I edit this. But this word Ilah is the root. And this word Ilah means to introduce, to put or to set, to push or dispose of something, to arrange, to lay, apply, place, to send away, or anything that
Grammarly helps you work more efficiently, which makes accomplishing your work goals easier.
Under the reign of Pharaoh Hatshepsut, ancient Egypt observed a time of great prosperity during the mid-15th century BC. Content with his position under the female pharaoh, her stepson and rightful heir to the throne, Thutmose III, spent his youth establishing himself as a highly capable military tactician and commander. On Hatshepsut's passing, Thutmose ascended the throne as the sole ruler of Egypt and went on to expand the empire to new limits. Thutmose III, whose name means born of the god Thoth, was born in 1481 BC to Pharaoh Thutmose II and his lesser wife Iset. When his father died, then 3-year-old Thutmose was considered too young to rule. Thus his aunt and stepmother Hatshepsut assumed the role of regent. 7 years into her regency, Hatshepsut declared herself pharaoh and seized control of the empire. Thutmose III was sent to accompany the army on early campaigns commissioned by Hatshepsut, a common practice to prepare young heirs for command. Once Thutmose became of age, Hatshepsut appointed him head of Egypt's armies. Upon Hatshepsut's death in 1458 BC, Thutmose III became the 6th pharaoh of the 18th dynasty and immediately began planning the restoration of Egyptian hegemony in the surrounding regions. Following his stepmother's death, the kings of the Levant rebelled, threatening to either invade Egypt or turn their backs on the empire altogether. Thutmose, too skilled a commander to allow this to happen, was uninterested in negotiating with the rebels. He personally led an army to the city of Megiddo, located in modern-day Israel, better known by its Greek name, Armageddon. Thutmose.
We were as street warriors to rebuild our culture and to create a new lasting legacy, a legacy of peace.
The music you want, the information you need.
And welcome back to the Meta Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship Show via Omega FM Radio.co.uk. This is the High Priest, Grand Hierophant of Meta Science Ministries. I'm on you're done now. Meta Science. Now, today we're talking about is the black man God, i.e. the Most High. Okay? So far, we concluded that the black man was God or the Most High back in the day, in ancient days, in Kemet or in Mosul or Mizraim or Egypt, for those who don't know the Arabia and Hebrew for Egypt. Okay, now why we say that the black man was God back in the day, in ancient days? Because the Pharaoh was the representation of the Most High back in the day. When you saw Pharaoh, you saw the Most High. That's how the thing was. Pharaoh was in charge of his kingdom, and he was known as the Good Shepherd. Also, no coincidence that Yeshua Yamashiach or the Christos or Jesus Christ is also known as the Good Shepherd. And the Pharaoh will symbolize himself as the Good Shepherd by having a crook and a flail or a rod and staff to show that they're the Good Shepherd, the same like Jesus Christ will have 5 rod and 5 staff. Let's try and get that Bible quote there for 5 rod and crook and flail and 5 rod and 5 staff. So let's type it in crook and flail. Crook and flail in Bible. So let's start off with crook and flail in ancient Egypt. It says, my body, man, it's hurting. The crook and flail were symbols used in ancient Egyptian society. They were originally the attributes of the deity Osiris that became insignia of pharaonic authority. The shepherd's crook stood for kingship and the flail for the fertility of the land. Okay? This is what it stood for. All right, but let's see if it's written in the Bible. The crook and the flail in Bible. Sorry. Okay. All right. It's not in the Bible, but yeah. So basically, yeah, it's shown it was the representation of Osiris or Usa. Yeah, and remember all these deities that we mentioned: Usa, Oset, Heru, Tehuti, Ptah, Atunre, Amun-Re. They had to be human first to become God. You follow that? You see that? You see them way there? They had to be human first to become God. They had to go through this 3D illusion to be able to fulfill the prophecy of returning from flesh into God. Okay? And that's the whole point what we're trying to say. You see Amun Ra or Amun-Re, what we talk about all the time. Did you know that he has a burial ground? What? High priest? Nah, you must be lying. No, it's true. He's got his own funeral home in Sudan. Okay? Remember Fayaz the other day that came on the radio? Yeah, he told me that he has his own cemetery in Sudan, and it's on a mountain, and it's called Jebel Barkal, which is spelled Jebel as in J for Jehovah, E for El Elyon, B for brother, E for El Elyon, and L for love. Space Barkal, which is spelled B for brother, A for Africa, R for respect, K for king, A for Africa, and L for love. Don't believe me? Check it out. Check it out and see what it talks about. Or in fact, we'll talk about it just now. Or we can play a soundbite. It's up to you. But okay, let's see if we can get the soundbite of this. Jabal Barkal. Okay. Okay, let's see what the soundbite is saying. This is from UNESCO, i.e. the official thing. So let's go.
And the site of the Naftan region. The ancient site of Jebel Barkal is situated in Nubia, a region along the Nile River, which covers the northern part of Sudan and southern Egypt. The area was once a large gold production center. It was part of the thriving kingdom of Kush during the 10th century BC. This rocky peak in the desert is the sacred mountain of Jebel Barkal. Worship of the god Amun was introduced from neighboring Egypt, and a temple dedicated to Amun was constructed here. A sheep-headed sphinx symbolizing the sacredness of the god Amun sits in the temple complex. The kingdom of Kush had its heyday during the 8th century BC.
Greetings, Queen.
Nubian people saw a cobra-shaped guardian god within the rock formations of the sacred mountain and built a giant temple.
You want to go live?
They claimed this is where the ancient Egyptian god Amun was born.
All right, no problem. I'll
This
relate
is
it
the temple of
in a
Mut.
minute, okay?
Goddess Mut is believed to be the wife of Amun.
Okay, let me sort that out.
There are
No
carvings
problem. Let
of
me just
Goddess
finish.
Hathor's face on the columns of the temple. She is
Alright,
believed
babes,
to be the goddess of birth, and
Isis,
also a nurturing parent of the god Amun.
Yes,
The
I'll
decoration
relate
above
it
her head
today. No
represents a
problem.
baby's toy. The wall inside the temple of Mut is covered with hieroglyphs. At the height of the kingdom of Kush's development, neighboring Egypt struggled with political unrest. The Nubians embarked on expeditions to stabilize the situation in Egypt. They eventually put Egypt under their control. However, Nubian occupation lasted for only 70 years and ended during the reign of King Taharqa. The Kush king returned to Nubia and began building pyramids in Nuri near Jebel Bakal. This is the largest pyramid, which entombs King Tahaga. Successive kings of the kingdom of Kush continued to construct pyramids around the Jebel Bakal mountains until the 4th century AD. The remaining pyramids are evidence of the rise and decline of this vanished desert kingdom.
All right, and welcome back to the Meta Science Ministries Reasoning and Fellowship Show via Omega FM Radio UK. This is the High Priest, Grand High from the Meta Science Ministries. Amun you're done, no? Meta Science. Now, we just got a call from one of the Meta Science soldiers, Meta Science disciples, and also High Priest Amun L's favorite Meta Science disciple. You're done, no? Now, she said, how do we relate it to today if the black man is being God or black man and woman are gods and goddess in this present moment of time? So now let's break it down, okay? What's going on right now, okay? All right, cool. Yeah, and the high priest, someone else, sage angel said that he's just checking me on the YouTube, but he's back on work now. Give thanks and praises to you, King. So let's break it down about what we need to talk about, and we're gonna enter 222 in a couple of seconds. So you know it's all synchronicity right here. So in terms of the decline, so let's start off with when in ancient Kemet, okay? Now we were known as gods and goddesses. Yeah, Amun-Ra, Atum-Re, Amun-Re, Osa, Oset, Eru, Ma'at, Ptah, Tahuti. These are the deities or the Neteru of ancient Kemet, i.e. the gods of ancient Kemet. Now, they were living people. When you see them, their statue and the paintings as well, these people are not no myth. It's not no like Greek god or Roman god that is just a fantasy thing, that is just a make-believe thing. Yeah, our gods were real. You follow that? These were living beings and they become deified because they passed the test in terms of planet Earth and they become a god in flesh, or when they transcend, they became a god, a living god. You follow that? As well as the pharaohs. Now, back in the day, you have to understand that we were pure, okay, and we are the original people from the Most High, and that we are just a representation as black people. The pharaoh and all the other gods were representation of the Most High. You follow that? You see, Amun-Ra, what we were just talking about with his burial ground in Sudan, he was a real being, he was a real person. And he came down onto planet Earth, and he will die and resurrect. He will resurrect himself in the nighttime. So he will die in the morning, and that's how you get the Atum-Re, and then he will resurrect himself in the nighttime, and that's how you get Amun-Re or Amun-Ra, okay? And yeah, they passed the test. Now, in terms of like Pharaoh Ramses and Pharaoh Akhenaten and Tuten or Tut Ankhamun and Thutmose and all these other pharaohs, yeah, they were not like back in the day to the Hebrews and to the Babylonians and the Assyrians. These people were gods, and the Greeks as well. They were gods, and they had to respect them. They had to bow down to the pharaoh. You follow that? The pharaoh had his own kingdom. The pharaoh was running things, yeah, in the ancient of days, and he had the respect as a god. Okay, now the problem was the high priest Amun El believes why we are declined and we fell from grace and we're no longer gods and goddesses at the moment is because in those days we were aligned with the Most High. We were aligned with that spiritual energy, or that the Holy Spirit, or the omnipotent force that exists all over the cosmos. Okay, we were aligned. We were one of the same. We were flesh and God at the same time. But now we're just flesh. And the reason why we're just flesh now and we've fallen from grace is because, according to the Bible, okay, let's just go on to Exodus. Okay, Exodus and Musa, or Moshe, or Moses, for those who don't know the Arabian and the Hebrew. Remember, because Moses is the English translation, what he was known in